ดีค่ะ very good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Nad Bunag live at the studio and คุณทิวหลิมนักสุภพเรา is live from home. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
So
Good
how's
evening.
everything going here?
Oh, if we talk about COVID-19, things kind of look up a little bit. Dr. Twisin said that it looks stabilized, but it's not going down yet. But if you talk about me working from home, I think it's coming together.
Right. So everything is settled working from home right
It's
now.
starting to get, it's starting to get settled.
And
Okay,
today,
let's get on with our COVID-19 update. Today, Thailand records 171 new cases, and that makes the total to over 12,500 cases. And if we count only the new outbreak, the total figure is now 8,357. And among the 171 new cases today, the majority are locally transmitted, and 13 of them are imported cases. Spokesperson of CCSA today, Dr. Thavisin Visnayotin, said that there are 3,168 people receiving treatment, while 9,336 have already recovered. He said that the rate of infections is stabilizing but not yet falling, and most new infections are being discovered through proactive screening. Of course, Samut Sakhon is still the province with the highest number of cases recorded, mostly among immigrant workers. The total number of the infections in the province since the new outbreak began is now over 4,600, followed by Chonburi at 647, Bangkok at 606, and Rayong at 568 cases. There are still 16 provinces with no infections being reported. And there are 31 provinces which have seen no new COVID-19 cases in the past 14 days. So they are heading into the right direction. Dr. Thavisin focused on the situation in Samut Sakhon, saying that the more proactive they are, the more cases they find. Officials now aim to screen 600 factories per day. That is a big number, at 50 people per factory, hopefully covering all factories by the end of the month. So talking about number of factories in Samut Sakhon, we are talking about tens of thousands of factories here. But most of them are small. And when we talk about small, we talk about less than 100 workers. CCSA spokesperson asked the factory's owner not to worry and to cooperate, because the Labor Ministry has already announced that any workers entering Thailand legally or not, who have been in Thailand since before December 29th, are now allowed to work legally. Dr. Thavisin said that the situation in Bangkok is, however, worrisome. The area in which most cases are being found is in the west of the capital and related to night entertainment venues and possibly connected to the outbreak in Samut Sakhon province. He also mentioned the southern provinces bordering Malaysia, which are recording thousands of new cases daily. He said that the area has to depend on health volunteers and local public health officials being vigilant. And he also asked the local to be vigilant. He said, if you see any new faces in the neighborhood, just make sure let the official know. Regarding the tracing application, Chana, he praised the businesses that received 4.9 star reviews from the application's users, with convenience stores topping the scores over the types of other business. The application has now been downloaded almost 8 million times and has about 6.54 million registered users. So in proportion, when this first started out, it looked like not much people, a lot of people downloaded, but not much people using it. But now we can see that a lot more people are using the application. Dr. Thavisin also reiterated the Prime Minister's message yesterday that the government will wait until they are sure the vaccine is safe before they start the inoculation.
And speaking of the vaccines, we've been hearing a lot of news about when we're going to get the vaccine and also cases where people have died after the inoculation. So recently, the Prime Minister has already warned the media not to spread misleading information about the COVID-19 vaccines. And today, the Prime Minister, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, asked the media to be careful reporting news on the COVID-19 vaccines. And he said there is a lot of misleading information and there are untrue stories about it. General Prayut said he had ordered the relevant agencies to prosecute whoever shared the misleading and false information, whether it is on social media or on news outlets. So let's have a listen to what he had to say on this issue.
เรื่องการนำเข้าวัคซีนที่การเชื่อมโยงบริษัทเหล่านี้ผมถือว่าเป็นการบิดเบือนนะบิดเบือนทุกเรื่องทุกอย่างไม่ใช่ข้อเท็จจริงเลยเพราะนั้นก็ขอให้ทุกคนระมัดระวังด้วยในการเสนอข่าวพวกนี้
And the Prime Minister said he is not threatening anyone, but he has to ensure public trust in the government. He asked the public to cooperate, to understand, and trust the government as well. At the same time, General Prayut said he tried to not say anything that is insubstantial, but he also told the media to not ask him anything insubstantial as well. Prayut said a lot of questions come from conflict and Thailand cannot have any conflict.
I was listening to this press briefing as well, and when he said that he actually want to ask the public, he said he want to ask one thing,
right.
And then he said three things that he asked for understanding and trust and other stuff.
Right.
So yes. So most important thing, he asking people to trust the government that they're trying their best. And talking about vaccine, it's like a hot issue today because Public Health Minister also come out and blasted on Thanathorn, which is the former chief of Future Forward Party, because before that, Thanathorn has come out and questioning the bioscience that will be the manufacturer of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Thanathorn said that Siam Bioscience has been in the loss, accumulative loss for 581 million baht. Why this company get the concession? And he said that according to the strategy and policy on national security in year 2019 forward, he said that initially there was no name of AstraZeneca and Siam Bioscience as the co-manufacturer. And he said that there were other organizations that was in the paper, in the proposal, Vaccine Institute being one of them. And he also said that the government is using budget to support Siam Bioscience, 1,449 million baht. And that's what sparked the news about vaccine and his curiosity. And that is why I think part of the reason that Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha was talking about reporting news on vaccine, that is true or not. And also, Public Health Minister Anutin Charnvirakul has criticized progressive movement leader Thanathorn that he not being grateful to his home country for his alleged attempt to politicize the government's procurement of COVID-19 vaccines. Anutin was referring to Thanathorn's criticism that I just told you a little earlier, that procurement of vaccine from Oxford AstraZeneca via Siam Bioscience, a Thai pharmaceutical firm founded by the late King Bhumibol in 2009 to manufacture medicines and medical equipment for domestic use at affordable prices and for export to reduce Thailand's dependence on imports of medical supplies. The late King also founded a Pexilla company a year later to be the marketing arm of for products manufactured by Siam Bioscience. The minister, who is also Deputy Prime Minister, said that Thanathorn appears to know everything. This is very sarcastic. but doesn't know how to be grateful to the late King Bhumibol, who set the foundation for medical and health development in Thailand for the betterment of his subjects. Anutin asked Thanathorn whether he knew that the 20 mobile laboratory units being deployed across the country right now to carry out proactive COVID-19 screening were sent by the Bureau of the Royal Household. He also said that the PPE being used by medical personnel also came from the palace, adding that funding amounting to several billion baht was donated by the late king for the development of hospitals and medical services in the countryside for the benefit of rural people. The minister asked Thanathorn whether he had ever been to a hospital in the countryside and suggested that he should stop criticizing the late king, and especially the vaccine from AstraZeneca, which will be produced here in Thailand by Siam Bioscience, the first in Asian region. He also said that this afternoon he will take delivery of 770,000 PPE suits donated by the palace for use by medical personnel. And he also questioning whether people that like to criticize ever donate. Anutin recommended that those who do nothing would be well advised to keep their mouths shut. That is pretty strong, I would say, in terms of response to Thanathorn. I am sure this commotion, conversation, it will not end anytime soon. I think it's probably just gonna be some more response from other side as well.
It's definitely a big drama right here with the COVID-19 vaccines that seems to be politicized. And there's another drama that is going on. If we remember that there was an incident about the state quarantine in Ranong province where a Facebook user complained that it looked like a deserted state quarantine facility. And
we reported this yesterday.
Yes.
And I remember the photo looked pretty scary.
Yes, well, based on these photos, it did look scary, and we reported that the state quarantine facility in Ranong, the Facebook user said that he's living in a deserted building with no facilities, and there's no difference from being homeless. And right now, there's another Facebook user who posted details about the same state quarantine facility, but the story this time is completely different. So this Facebook post say, this is the real atmosphere of the state quarantine facility in Ranong province, but there was a rich kid who cannot stand this place and posted a complaint that turned into a big story. That's a very harsh remark here. And the post further stated that there was a blackout on the first day that he entered the state quarantine. But based on my observation, on this Facebook post, the owner of the post said, based on my observation, the state quarantine is clean and safe, although not all of the facilities are there, such as the air conditioner, TV, or even water heaters. But you have to understand that it's just a state quarantine and it's not that bad. So previously, as we reported yesterday, a Facebook post said that yes, this is a state quarantine facility in Thailand where I have been staying, 2 people in one room. So there are roommates, no TV, no refrigerator, no air conditioner, no Wi-Fi, just 2 fans, no electricity, and no water. And that is how we are living in a deserted building, no difference from being homeless, just 2 beds. So you can see that there are 2 completely different stories here. One person said that it feels like a deserted building, and on the other side of it says there's nothing wrong and it's not that bad. And what is interesting is that the news Facebook post actually took a jab here, saying that there was like a rich kid complaining about it, and it turned into a big story.
Well, we wouldn't know that for sure, but what we know that is the original post already got deleted, disappeared somehow.
Right.
And the video footage that the viewers see right now on the screen that we showed earlier, taking a tour in the facilities, is actually the video clip shot by the stranger in the southern part of Thailand of Thai PBS.
Right.
So that is what they are really using. So
Right.
talking about other province, Chiang Mai has not seen new cases for 6 days. So right now the governor and the Disease Control Committee of Chiang Mai decided they will let the market in the province, the markets, night markets, walking streets open from today onward. Chiang Mai Governor Charan Sangwan Sat and the Provincial Disease Control Committee resolved to ease restrictions on social activities and will allow flea markets, night markets, and walking streets to open from Wednesday, which is tomorrow. The announcement stated that the marketplaces must nonetheless adhere to strict disease control measures. Chiang Mai ordered all markets and similar activities to be closed on January 6 for 14 days. But as we can see, it's not 14 days yet. Today is 19. It has been roughly 14 days. Oh, they announced today. So tomorrow, 20, it will be just 14 days, like they said earlier. So, and no case for 6 consecutive days. That is a good news. So that's why Chiang Mai decided they're just going to try to resume some certain activities, some certain economy activities. So just to make sure that some small time business owner, business operator able to make a living.
So basically just to revive the local economy during COVID-19, because although Chiang Mai has not found the new cases for the past few days, especially during the latest outbreak, it's definitely the latest move to revive the economy during this time. And moving on, when we're talking about masks and all these new technologies to prevent the spread or to protect ourselves from COVID-19, recently there's a showcase of new gadgets and new innovations to fight against COVID-19, and some of them are very interesting. One of them is this smart mask. So let's take a look at this report. This is the world's smartest mask, as claimed by Razer, a Singapore-based gaming hardware maker, which is one of many technologies invented to battle the coronavirus that were showcased at the CES 2021 Gadget Show. Project Hazel, as it's called, boasts ventilation, auto-sterilization with a built-in UV light and a low-light mode that lights up automatically when it's dark to show the wearer's mouth. Another feature uses a built-in microphone to amplify the wearer's voice, which may sound muffled under the mask.
When you try to communicate with the mask on, your voice ends up becoming very muffled and hard to hear because this is an airtight design. Razer Voice Amp solves that through a complex systems of microphones and speakers and amplifiers that sit on the mask, where we pick up your voice from inside and through algorithms remove any form of muffle or distortion, and what comes out is a clear sound.
Apart from the smart mask, several companies also introduced new technologies to combat with the pandemic, such as disinfecting robots. LG introduced an autonomous UVC light robot designed to irradiate viruses on heavily touched surfaces, as well as a wearable air purifier and a portable air purifier that you can use to purify air in the car or in the office. German engineering and technology firm Bosch revealed its mobile medical analysis device, which they say can now deliver positive COVID-19 PCR test results in less than 30 minutes. Canada-based UAV company Dragonfly showcased a drone that's able to spray sanitizer around public areas, including stadiums, arenas, malls, and conference centers. Switzerland-based Clean Motion showcased a self-disinfecting door handle that features a small disinfected tank which can be used around 2,000 times before needing a refill. California-based company Seguro showcased its air-safe personal air purification face shield, which they say delivers a clean curtain of fresh air to the nose and mouth. Healthcare technology is rapidly growing amidst the pandemic. As many experts say, these new inventions will not be just a trend to battle with the coronavirus, but it signifies how it will become part of our lifestyle in the future.
In terms of the themes and trends, one of the big ones is clearly the healthcare technology. That's been a growth area before COVID, and now it's just even heavier.
For sure, we're going to be seeing a lot more pandemic technology, and specifically the type of autonomy that is coming with robotics and how this can interact with our society. I think that this is a massive leap forward in robotics autonomy. That's not necessarily just to do with the pandemic, but I think it has really long-term implications for how robots are going to be in our lives permanently.
Are you interested in some of the gadgets?
Oh, I like that robot that moves around the house and disinfect everything with the, I think it's a UV ray,
yeah,
right?
the UVC light robot.
It's very interesting. I mean, CES always have something exciting, something new, something interesting every year. And like they say in the scoop that the COVID-19 has changed everything. And it's make every sector of society come up with something that would help deal with COVID-19. And like we can see that all this technology, robotic stuff, also part of the, try to be part of the solution.
Definitely, COVID-19 has really changed pretty much everything from our lifestyles and all of the products we're using. And some of the innovations here, it doesn't only serve the pandemic and what we actually need during this time, but what we will actually need in the near future as well. So some of these innovations are really interesting, especially one that I really like, the doorknob sanitizer. I think we really need that.
Oh, yes, that would be nice because for me personally, every time I touch doorknob outside a house, not even before COVID, in the back of my head be like, is it clean?
Yeah, you will have this insecurity.
Yeah, because this is a place where everybody have to touch.
Definitely, and other than that, there are many of the technologies that are really interesting as well, and some of them looks practical as well, especially with the drones that spray the sanitizers, which you can use in big areas, and I think we actually need more of that as well, because I think it's not just the alcohol sanitizers in your hands that are enough, but these things, it's really necessary during this time as well.
Hopefully it will help, but I don't know. This is all we see is a prototype, so I'm not sure we're going to see the real one, but it's coming along.
Yeah, some of them are still prototypes and concepts, but if they're actually on the shelves, I'm pretty sure that it will gain a lot of popularity, especially during the pandemic, that it seems like it's not going away in a very short time.
Certainly.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ